Lameness in sheep is a huge problem in the UK, both in terms of welfare and in terms of the costs associated. Although prevalence is extremely variable across farms, FAI estimates that the average prevalence is around 8 to 10%. Welfare issues aside, the costs of lameness associated at those levels of prevalence would be around £10 to £12 for every ewe put to the tub. So on a farm like this with 1,200 ewes, that would be in excess of £12,000 a year for dealing with lameness alone. Across the industry, the resulting loss of production and costs could add up to as much as £140 million every year. Over 90% of cases of lameness in sheep are caused by foot rot and scald. Foot rot scald essentially thought to be the same disease, with scald being a precursor or a less serious form of foot rot. These are bacterial infections, they're infectious, they're spread sheep to sheep via the floor surface, either in the field or in the handling system. Diseased sheep can act as a reservoir of bacteria, spreading the disease between sheep, both ewes to lambs and ewes to other ewes. So the foot rot and scald bacteria build up on a lame sheep's infected foot, and every time she puts that foot to the floor, she can leave bacteria on the ground surface that she's walking. And if we imagine that bacteria as orange paint, every time she walks on the ground, she leaves a trail of bacteria or orange paint behind her. You can see how the disease starts to build up. Bacteria can survive up to 10 days on the pasture or in handling systems and tend to build up, particularly in high traffic areas where the sheep congregate, such as around water troughs, feed troughs and in gateways. If you had one lame sheep spreading the disease bacteria around the field, you can see that there would be a chance that other animals could go on and pick up that bacteria and go on to develop the disease. But if you multiply that situation by, let's say, 5 to 10% in terms of prevalence, then you can really see how this disease can start to build up and why it's so difficult to manage. Sheep who suffer repeated bouts of infection with foot rot and scald can end up with chronically damaged feet. These animals, alongside animals with active infection, are most likely to be spreading the disease around the field. Even mildly lame animals can be spreading the bacteria, represented here as orange splodges, and allowing the disease to continue spreading. After many years of research and development work, FAI has developed a programme called the 5-Point Plan, which aims to significantly reduce the level of lameness in sheep. So when you implement all of the 5 points of the plan together as a programme, you're able to halt the spread of disease challenge and also build resilience and immunity in the ewe flock such that foot rot and scald become much less of a burden. At our own farm at FAI, we managed to reduce levels from around 7.4% when we started, with a seasonal peak of just below 20% in late summertime, to a level of less than 2.6% in the first year, and maintain that level at less than 1% for the last 4 years. This is a brief summary of the 5-point plan. I would emphasise that it's crucial to implement all 5 action points of the plan concurrently and with equal focus for the programme to be as effective as possible. The first action point is culling out your worst offenders. These are animals that have been treated for lameness multiple times or have chronically infected, misshapen feet. The second action point is all about having an effective quarantine procedure on the farm. This is necessary to protect incoming animals from existing disease on the farm, but also to protect your own animals from new strains of bacteria being brought in. The third action point is about rapid treatment of clinical cases. This is the recognition that the bacteria spreads on field surfaces, animal to animal, and it's trying to reduce the likelihood of that happening. Avoiding spread of bacteria on the farm is absolutely crucial. This is actions such as improving your handling setup to reduce the contamination on the floor surface and using lime around water troughs, feed troughs, etc., again to reduce the chance of bacterial spread. The fifth element of the plan is using vaccination to stimulate immunity. We would recommend using a biannual vaccination to correlate with the highest risk times on the farm. So foot rot and scald spread very effectively on farm and have been extremely difficult to manage for many farmers. But now, using the 5-point plan in a concerted effort, it gives you a very strong chance of being able to control lameness levels to much lower levels, and this can really be achieved quite quickly. The 5-point plan has now been accepted as the national strategy for controlling lameness in sheep, with various stakeholders giving their backing and support for the rollout of the plan. You can contact your own vet, us at FAI or any of the stakeholder organisations for more details on each of the elements of the 5-point plan and information on how to implement the plan at farm level.